Hello, I'm back with another video for Tonic today, and it's the latest stamp club. So it's this one, these beautiful stamps here, and lots of nice little critters and all sorts of things on them. And it's called It's a Bug Deal. So we've not only got those stamps, but we've got this lovely little die set to go along with it as well. So I'm just going to turn the camera down and we'll have a quick look at it, and then we'll start to make something really nice. I'll just have a very quick look through these stamps here, and then we'll just get straight on to it. But first of all, you can see there are some sentiments there. You make my heart flutter. Hey little bug, enjoy the little things in life. Bugs and kisses. Today is a very bug deal. And then, sorry for always bugging you. Then we've got this beautiful little snail, a caterpillar, two ladybirds, a little spider with a little web, a butterfly, and let me see, a little bee, and then some foliage, and this looks like a little grass stamp along there too, and that more than likely works along with this little die here. So we'll have a look at the die. I have these on my magnetic sheet here, but I'll just put them on white to show you them a little bit better. So I think that one works along with the grass that I've just showed you, and then we've got a jar and a magnifying glass, the lid for the jar, and then some of these other things. This will cut out the spider and the web, and then some of these cut out the other things that are on there, and there's a little branch as well, and the caterpillar. I think I could make something really colourful with this, so I'll go and get some paper, pens and all sorts of things, and I'll be right back. While I'm off getting all of that, don't forget, if you haven't already subscribed and you like to see this kind of video, to subscribe to my channel and hit the notification bell. That'll keep you right up to date, and then if you do enjoy it, don't forget at the end to give me a big thumbs up and leave me a little comment, and I'll see you back in a tick. I've got lots of pieces cut out now for my first card, and I really like this die sort of collection here that had the little jar on it and then the lid over here. So I have cut that out, and I thought it would make a lovely little easel card, and that little jar could sit up and I would have some foliage and some little bugs inside. And this is really silly, but I should say I've got this already cut out and I've got the lid on it, and I wouldn't put a lid on it if there were little bugs inside. Definitely not. That's just me. I love little creatures and little critters and all that, and I love them in the garden, even whenever they're eating my plants. So actually, if you want to see some, because I do actually enjoy taking photographs of them as well, I'll add a few photographs at the end of some lovely little critters in the garden. Anyway, back to this. I have got an A2 card, and I've cut some white card just to fit along the bottom of it here, and then I have cut another piece of it to go along here, and that is about 5 centimeters. 5.5 centimeters actually, and I'm going to put that on there as a little stopper for my easel, and I will actually just glue it along the bottom here, and I'll put 3D foam pads on that, so the bottom will be flat and will look nice and tidy, but this piece will sit up, so you'll see me doing that in a minute or two. And I have folded the front of the card in half to make the little easel. Now I've also taken a piece of green, so it's grass green. I'm using a mixture of grass green and pistachio green, and I want to put that along here. So I've got the grass green this time, and I've cut that, it will depend on what size of a card you're using, but on my A2 card I have cut this from the top of the grass. It's roughly about 6.25 centimeters. You can make it slightly bigger or adapt that to whatever you need it to be in inches, but what it is going to do is fit directly across this easel. So if I set it sideways, you might see it better. It's going to fit across here, but it's actually going to sit up a little bit on the other side, so it doesn't need to be exactly that amount sitting up on the other side. But when I glue that on, I must remember to put the glue on here and not right up to the top here, because if I do that, this piece will stick here and then the card won't actually fold up. Just don't forget, whenever you're attaching these, the two things to remember: don't add glue along the top of here so that still folds up, and remember that the part that you need the foam pads on is the part that's facing into the card, because then that will act as the stopper, and when that's like that, it holds this piece nice and flush across there. I thought next of all I would really love to add a little jam jar onto this so that it would sit up here when the easel opens up, and you can see it sideways there. But I thought, being a jam jar, I didn't want to cover the back of it in, so I have gone ahead then and I have used this die and this die together. So I've taped those both down onto white card, and I've got this shape, and I cut out 2 of those. Then I remove this die and I use this one on its own twice again on acetate. Now you can obviously use whatever acetate you have. I really like to use the Craft Perfect construction weight one, and it is quite heavy, and obviously it's got a plastic film on it as well. Do remember to remove the plastic film, but because it's heavy, the die doesn't actually cut right through it, but if you put that through your machine a couple of times, it leaves a really clear indentation that is really easy. It almost just falls apart whenever you put your scissors on it. So I have trimmed that maybe just slightly inside that line so that it would fit on, and glued the other one there is already done, but I've glued it directly on here. So the fine tip nozzle, the wee precision nozzle there on my deluxe adhesive, is fantastic for that, and I'm going to go ahead and do that on there. But I'll show you what I've done here, because I'm going to add the 2 of these together. I cut out 2 of the little lids as well in silver, and I've already glued one on. But after I glued the outside edge onto that acetate on this one, then you probably see it here actually, I've taken these 3D foam pads and I've cut them into really narrow strips, and I have put that the whole way around here, because I might just put some shaker elements into it. I'm not sure whether I'm going to do that or not, but I wanted to leave a little gap in between it so that I was going to be able to do that, and then some foliage as well that I've cut for in and around it or whatever. But I'm going to go ahead and make this up first, so I'll glue this on here and the lid onto the back of it. Now, it's actually important to have a back and a front on it, so I could have just put this, you know, the acetate onto the back or whatever, but then you would have seen all of the workings of it in there, and I wanted to cover that over and make it nice and neat so that whenever it's on my little shaker you can see through it. Back and front will be really tidy. Before I even attach that together, it's going to be really tidy when I get all that attached, but I want to leave it just open for the meantime and set that aside with this, and then I'm going to stamp some of the little elements here, and then I can cut them out and colour them in and cut them out. So you can see here I've already got some in my stamping platform. I've got the little snail and the little leaf and the flower, and I'm going to stamp them on here. Now I'm going to use the corresponding dies to cut these out, so it is important, if you're going to stamp them all at the one time, just to make sure that you've left enough room between so that you can actually add the die on. Oh, it's going towards the magnet. So that you can actually add the die on and it's not going to be cut off at any stage. I have die cut this little leaf section here, and I actually cut a second one and put a little nipped off leaf on top there, so that whenever this shows up from the top, that actually you can see the good side at the back and the front. But it's a bit pernickety, you don't really have to do that. I just thought I would do it. Now I've taken a piece of the grass dye, so I cut that right along a strip like this. I nipped some off, and then I took the dye that I used for cutting out the inside of the jar there, so that would be this one, and I laid that over the top, and as you can see, just nipped it out there, and I've given myself this little shape which I want to put on in here. But I'm just sort of working this out as I go along. That will need to go there, and I want that to be glued on in some way that the glue isn't very visible. And also my little snail will be going in there. So I'm going to glue the snail onto here now, first of all. Just there. Like that. And I don't think I'll put too much more in there. I think the leaf would be best to go in, so I'm going to put that there. And I don't want to cover all of that up, so let's see, where would that go? About there. Yeah, so that will go about there. The leaf will go at the front, and then the little snail and whatnot will go in the back, and I can go ahead and glue that on. I'll add the glue on in here and a bit here, because I'm going to add some elements on over the front of that anyhow, and that's enough for in there. Look at that little snail. It's got a really smug little smile on its face because it's been eating holes in the leaves. I've actually got this far and decided that I don't even want any shaker pieces in that, because I don't think it would actually really suit it, but I still needed it clear and I still needed the dimension. So I'll take all these off and just glue the two together, attach them together with these foam pads, and then add them onto the little card. I've added some double-sided sticky tape to the back of this, so that's how I'm going to attach it, but I will add a little drop of glue here and there as well. I don't really fancy using glue on acetate too much, but I don't really trust the double-sided tape to hold it, so that's why I'm adding a combination of both. And then I just want to pop that in the middle there, and you can see here that if that goes over the top, you're going to need a slightly bigger envelope. I'm not too worried about that, but you could always add this and put this into an A6 envelope. It's an A2 card, but you could use it in an A6 envelope. But just remember that the envelope size that you'll need will depend on how far this comes up over the top. But there we are. I wanted some of that clear to be visible, and that's worked out really well. So now I can go ahead and build some layers up around here and add some more colour to this. I've gone ahead and attached this flower on, so I've put 3D foam pads in at the side there and then glue in behind, and I've got some little leaves here that I'm going to put on. And because I didn't want it to look exactly the same as this, I actually nipped off the top one that goes around, because obviously then it would have just looked like two exactly the same. But I'm going to glue that just by the base of that in behind there. And then I've stamped this, so it's enjoy the little things in life, and I stamped that onto some white card. I used a tiny little heart die in pink to go on the edge there, and then I'm going to glue that just right across here. And oh, I've actually got double-sided sticky tape on the back and forgot that I had done that. I took a little break there to get caught up in some things, and I forgot I had done that. So there we are. And during that break time too, I also stamped, coloured and cut out another little flower to go on this side, and I really just want to glue that one on, and might actually just add a little leaf or two in there as well. So that's going on there, and I just want to add, yeah, a couple of little leaves in here. For my next card then, I have die cut this jar shape again, and I've stamped this little spider on top. And now there is a little die to match that as well if you'd wanted to cut that out. But I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to use Feather Grey and Turtle Dove to colour this, and then I'm going to add some shading around here with the Skylight Blue pen. These are alcohol markers, and then I'll add a little lid onto the top. Now I've cut out a piece of acetate, and this time I'm only going to glue it on top of this, so I don't really want that glue showing. I'll put a drop up there and a drop down there, and then those are two areas that I can cover with leaves whenever I attach it to the card. I'm going to just push that down there gently, press it, and you can see it at the moment, but it shouldn't be too visible once I get it onto the card. Now I've also gone ahead and stamped out this little caterpillar, and I'm going to cut it out with the corresponding die, and I've also gone ahead and stamped this out so that and backed it onto some of the green card as well. So this will all come together in a minute or two, but I really want to just go ahead and colour this little caterpillar in with a mixture of greens. So I've got Persian lime, pea pod and vine leaf, and I think this time I'm going to give him some little pink cheeks. Now this time I want a background that has some different bits of green and whatnot in it to match in along with that. So I've got my shimmer powder here, and this is Falling Leaves, and I don't actually want it to be too covered, so I'm just going to pop some on first of all, spray it with water, see what that looks like, and that should be enough, I think. Dried that off, and then I added some hairspray over the top of it just to seal it, a kind of a fixative so that none of that rubs off. And that's not my usual card there, so it's actually made a little bit of a texture on it, and it's actually very interesting. But I was just using up a piece of white card that I had. So I'm going to add this on here, and I thought that that little caterpillar just had to go on there, so no matter what way that goes on here, that caterpillar just had to be on top of that for me. So I will arrange this, I think, like that. I've also cut out the little magnifying glass, so you'll see there that I've actually cut it out in the silver. Then I've cut the circle out of the centre, but I've cut the whole thing out again in acetate and glued it onto the back, so that's the handle and everything, the whole same shape again. And I'm going to pop that on there, and then I'll come back in with some leaves and add those all in at the end. I've added some more foliage on here, just little bits and pieces around there, but always remember, if you haven't got some paper or whatever sort of colours you would like to finish off a card or to use as a background, shimmer powders are fantastic for that, because you can add as little or as much as you want and they'll always give you that lovely coordinated finish at the end, because there's lots of different shades of them and lots of different shades in some of the little bottles as well, like that one where you've got blue and green and whatnot in. So I hope you like that one, and there's the other card as well, my little easel card, and that's my 2 cards for this launch finished. But there's loads and loads of things, as you know, there's always lots and lots of things that you could do with the sets as well as those as well, and I'd be very interested to hear what you would do with the set, and also if you like little bugs as well. So thanks very, very much for watching, and don't forget, if you haven't already subscribed, to do that and hit the notification bell. Give me a big thumbs up if you like it, and leave me a little comment and let me know what you think. And my affiliate links to all of these products will be down below in the description, so thanks very much to everybody who uses those as well. And until next time, happy crafting. Bye bye.